I've been listening to Brene Brown's newest book, which is actually it's not her newest book, but it's one of the newer ones, which is Daring Greatly. Her newest book is called Rising Strong, which I've also got ready to listen to after this. I've really gotten into Brene Brown's work in the last couple of years because I guess it sits with me where I am right now, which is about exploring a whole different me and a whole different type of me. Her work, if you don't know about it, she's a shame researcher, and she does a lot of work in vulnerability and living a wholehearted life, is what she calls it. And a few years ago, it was interesting. I was introduced to Brene's TED Talk, which she did in about 2010 on vulnerability. And I remember watching it at the time. This would have been about maybe 3.5 years ago now, and watching it going, yeah, vulnerability. That's nice, Brene. I don't do vulnerability. It's not something that I do. I'm a HR manager, for crying out loud. I can't do vulnerability. What are you talking about? And it was interesting because at the end of that year, after me being introduced to that video, is when I was in my probably most vulnerable state I have ever been in my career. And it really knocked me for a six. So I think that was probably the start of the journey where I started to re-explore some of Brene's stuff. I actually rewatched that video, and it resonated a lot stronger at that point once I'd been kicked in the teeth and been vulnerable. So I've been pretty much reading everything that she's got nowadays, and over the last 12 months in particular, I've read all of her books, and reading her last two now. And I think the thing that stands out to me the most is not just about being vulnerable, but more the benefits of being vulnerable and the benefits of living a wholehearted life. And something that I was listening to yesterday, and she said in her book, and it kind of just really smacked me in the face, was she said, when she was starting this journey, she went to, a therapist because she was doing all this work and it was bringing all this stuff up for her. And she went along and she kind of went, okay, just give me some tools and resources so I can just get on with my life. So I can just deal with this stuff and get on with it. She said, I wasn't looking to change my life. I was looking to figure out ways of dealing with my life. And that just really smacked me in the face, because it's really is, I think, what we tend to do a lot, and I know I've done it a lot, is just looking for things so that you can just continue on. I was working with a group of managers yesterday who are just, have extraordinary workloads, and they just plug away and plug away and plug away and plug away, and really, I guess, struggling to find the meaning in what they're doing, because they've got this, task list of, 100 things that they're trying to get through, and really probably 5 of those things are something that they really want to do and really find meaning in. So the quote from Brene, when I think about that in the context of how much work we put on ourselves and how many things that we do on a day-to-day basis, we run from this end to that end, and we do PTA meetings, and we do volunteering, and we do work full time, or we take on lots of, consulting work if you're like me, and you try and put in as much as you can. And I know that at the beginning of last year, this is what I was trying to do. I was trying to, load my life up as much as possible, and doing all this volunteer work and doing this other stuff, and trying to speak at different events, and, going all over the place and traveling all over the place, and doing for everybody. And I kind of realized that I wasn't really happy doing that stuff. So when I think about Brene and her, just give me some tools to make it so that I can just live this life. I was doing that, definitely. And then I go, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, if you're not happy with what you're doing, if it's not making you joyful, if it's not fulfilling your life, if it's not allowing you to be fully engaged in this world, in the people around you, then why are we so concerned about getting to end of that task list, filling our lives up so stupidly so that we're stressed out and tired by the end of the day? What is it about us that's filling up that task list so much that we feel like everything on it is a priority and we have to do absolutely everything on it, but it's not making us happy? I think that's just something that I'm going to ponder a bit more, and I encourage you to ponder that as well. How much stuff have you got on your list, and how much more do you pile on that list? And is it the ticking off of the list that's making you feel valued, and why is that so? So these are the things that I'm going to be pondering over the next little while, particularly reading Brene's book. And, if you haven't read any of Brene's stuff and you're ready to basically get kicked in the head a few times emotionally, and you want some, real eye-opening thought bubbles to come up, then she's definitely the place to go. But anyway, I will see you again tomorrow.